Hello, and welcome to part 3 of our series on animal idioms. The first idiom is about dogs. A dog's dinner or a dog's breakfast. Believe it or not, this idiom has nothing to do with food. It has two basic meanings. Firstly, it can be used to describe someone who overdresses, someone who wears bright colours that are out of place for the occasion, someone who dresses ostentatiously. Secondly, it can be used to describe something that is untidy or a mess, either physically, like a messy bedroom, or figuratively. For example, arrangements that have been made very poorly. It is predominantly a British idiom that came into use in the early 20th century. However, it has crossed the Atlantic Ocean. Here's an example. A youth from the sidewalk called to a young cigarette-smoking lady at the rail. "What are you doing there, all dressed up like a dog's dinner?" This can be found in a Texan newspaper report in the early 1930s. Here's another idiom about dogs. It's a dog's life. This idiom first appeared in the 16th century and described a person who led a miserable and unhappy life caused by poverty or misfortune. It refers to dogs who were kept outside in all weathers and were just fed scraps to eat. It can also be used to describe someone who lives a carefree and lazy life, lounging around and not doing much. For example, ever since he came into a large sum of money through an inheritance, he no longer works. Lazes around all day, not getting out of bed until midday. It's a dog's life. Now another idiom concerning dogs. A dog-eat-dog world. This idiom is used to convey the sense of an extremely competitive market, business, and so on. Before dogs were kept as pets, they had to struggle and compete for existence. For example, the music industry is dog-eat-dog. One day you're on top, and the next everyone has forgotten you. Idiom number 4, also about dogs. A Shaggy Dog Story. This idiom suggests that we do not believe the complicated and ludicrous story or excuse someone comes up with to get out of a difficult situation. The Cambridge Dictionary defines it thus: a long joke that has an intentionally silly or meaningless ending. Shaggy is an adjective that refers to a dog's long and untidy hair. It probably originated in the 1940s. For example, my uncle always used to dominate family gatherings with his unending stream of shaggy dog stories. You could plainly see that my aunt was not amused, as she had heard them many times before. I'm now going to introduce some idioms about horses. Firstly, a dark horse. When somebody who surprises us by doing something out of character, we can refer to them as a dark horse. We can also use this in reference to somebody who gains popularity or success, though we would not have thought them capable of doing so. This idiom comes from betting on horse races. A dark horse was one that wasn't well known among gamblers. The metaphorical use later spread to other areas. Benjamin Disraeli, a British politician, author and Prime Minister, provides the earliest known reference to the phrase in his novel The Young Duke, which appeared in 1831. A dark horse which had never been thought of rushed past the grandstand in sweeping triumph. Here's an example. We didn't know that our neighbour owned several properties in the south of France. She's a bit of a dark horse, isn't she? straight from the horse's mouth. This idiom conveys the meaning of coming directly from the original source. It is first-hand. It is also linked to horse racing. When gamblers wanted inside information about which horse was likely to be the winner of a race, they would often talk directly to the trainers. Therefore, from the horse's mouth suggests that the information has come from the closest source, since the trainers knew the pedigree and form of the horses they trained. It was first used in the early 20th century.
Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it useful. Don't forget to pass it on, place a like, and turn on your notifications.